Hello everyone, my name is Uthris, and welcome to an episode of Banished. We are going to be working on this Eastern District a little bit today. This might be a two-part episode just because of how much square footage is down here. This is what I consider kind of old town, right? So when they first started building the city here, right, it's going to have some kind of main central buildings, some entertainment things, but also it has kind of the first church of the city and a lot of the earlier homes of the city as well. So it's going to be pretty dense, just like the other districts, but a little bit, hopefully, of a nicer home because over the years they've kind of upgraded this district a little bit, and it being near a church and basically right next to a lot of the bakery and the town market square, and a little bit more away from the industrial area. There's going to be some industry maybe up in the northern area, and maybe a little bit in this section. But for the most part, this is all residential, and we're just going to kind of have to hop right into it. You'll notice that the game is starting to slow down a lot with just how many people we have. That's just the thing with any creative building game. Bigger and better means slower and lower FPS. That's just how it works out a lot of the time. I want to start using in this district some of the row home items. So some of these officer townhomes, these more lovely looking buildings here. There's family townhouses as well. And so if I'm able to work in artisan homes, officer homes, captain homes, things like this, I think this area is going to pop a little bit and just make it look far more important, right? So if I do an officer home there, and then maybe we can do like a journeyman's house, and then a family townhouse on this street to just make it feel kind of higher class, being so close to the church here. And I also want to do, I guess, kind of a whole row of these officer townhomes. I think that would be lovely. Even if we can't get all the way to the end. It's not quite the perfect count, but that's okay. Not much of a problem here for that. Let's do, can I fit something like this with a officers in the middle, just for some variety. I'm going to try and spread these out, by the way, just like we do in other areas, because I just don't want it to look too repetitive, right? That's just the thing to avoid when you're doing this. And I'm going to be working the whole area as a whole here a little bit early on, but ideally I'm going to get at least this half done. I'm going to unpause working on the church. I also have a trading post along the river for some extra trade goods coming in. So I can go ahead and hit play here and let the FPS kind of do its thing for the most part. There's town abodes, there's sandbox homes. These things are nice, but not quite what I'm looking for. At the very least, most of these city blocks are going to be these large townhomes, which look great. So if I do that, kind of have the opportunity to do 4 here, kind of like so, and then seal off this corner with another large townhouse. I want these to be kind of corner-oriented areas. Don't want to do it too much, but I never know here. Let's just extend this out a couple, then maybe like a small one, and then kind of a corner there. And we'll have to decide and design these side streets kind of as they come, right? See if we can't find any other good kind of row homes. I don't want to use any thatched buildings in this section, like at all. I don't think that would look very good for us. Maybe if I go into some of the medieval town set, see what we got here. So we can throw like a good corner here, first floor corner. Now they do have a second floor corner, which we will use just fine. I don't want to go too large, too quick in this little area. So this is another corner. Residence there. And the third story is just, I think, a little too much. You know, personally, it's just a little too much for the size. We can get a hostel. No, that wouldn't be too good. There's a medieval water tower, which is kind of nice. Maybe we can find a use for that. There's some butchers. How about a bakery or something like a medieval baker's would be cool near, maybe over here in this square, because I'm going to end up putting some market up here. Just a small one. You know, something to just kind of make sense in this area. Medieval old smokery. Not a cool looking building, so I'm gonna pass. Drying shack, saltery, butchers, fishing pond. No, nothing really there that I want. There's a medieval dentist, clinic. A library could be cool, kind of near the church. Could be nice, something like this. Just thrown in there. There's a medieval cathedral. This is going to go into the High Garden district, by the way. This thing's huge. And I'm real excited to have that in there. Medieval bathhouse could be nice. Could be something to kind of fit in here. Next to the water. So we'll do that. There's a lighthouse, which honestly I didn't even know I had. Darn, it would have been real cool to have it, say, over here, you know? Maybe it's something to look into later. Something to look into later. We got fruit vendors. Yeah. Let's do some of this. So we'll just line the city street a little bit with these little shops. I think that'd be cool. Get a clothing vendor across the street. This is gonna take so much stone. I'll tell you already. Medieval hardware store. General store. Ale stall. I don't know why that's a stall. Medieval food store or food stall. I wonder if I could do a food stall kind of like right next to it, like that. And then like an ale stall on the other side, just to make it look like a side street kind of marketplace right there. And I think that'll cover all the market areas. And maybe to give this place a little bit more story, to kind of portray how old it is, we will we'd have like an old burned out church somewhere. It's gonna take like 240 artifacts. We have nothing that makes artifacts. I don't know why I'm making this thing. We can make an archaeology center though. That might help us get artifacts in the first place. Let's start with that, right? Maybe we can find a spot for it. Maybe this corner here? No, it's a little big. Maybe here, and then we can have part of the side street kind of connect that way. Alright, that's not bad. So at this point, we'll just use these two-story buildings, I think, to portray a lot of the density of the area. And also do some gates. This area will kind of do all red roof, I suppose. Should suffice. Alright, good. We got a corner piece that we can actually fit in here. And then we can go straight. I want a tile with a window, then a tile with no window. Here. No window again. Nothing I can really do here, right? I can't really do a partial angle in this area. That wouldn't really fit. For the most part. Okay, we'll just cap this off. I think. Should we cap it off or just come to an abrupt end? I think I want an abrupt kind of end here. Kind of like that. And then on the interior side, maybe we can just get a bit of a U shape going, huh? No. I don't think that was going to work. Need something in here to fill this space. We'll have to come back once all these structures are kind of made, right? It's going to take a while because I'm kind of limited to just single time speed now with the way everything kind of shakes out. It's like a village inn that we could do. This could be like a back alley thing. And I think this can be upgraded for like a garden. An inn garden. Angled village house variant now. Oh yeah, we still need these 3-story medieval homes, these like fancier ones. They just look so cool. I gotta like throw them in here. I think these are like my favorite buildings in the whole mod pack. They just look so good. They just have so much character to them. Darn, I kind of wish I could fit it there. Have to wait and see. Wait and see on that one. Okay. It's not too bad. Any good production that I could fit in this area? I still need an oil press, as far as I'm aware. A lot of them don't look too great though, but if we're gonna delegate the northern area for vendors, kind of get a couple oil presses in here. As our There's our two little industrial buildings near the water, which, you know, could get filled out with some more. Who knows? But I know I'm going to need a lot of oil. I need to go one more out here. Flatten this little corner. Back to food. There we go. There's a couple oil press. We already got a bakery in this area, so we're fine there. Mills, nah, don't need any of those. Let's look at some capital buildings maybe, specifically health. Don't want a village hospital, tiny hospital. The standard hospital actually looks pretty good. I think we can fit that in here as well. Even though we have one. We already have a hospital, I think, around here. But having another one just on this side will help offset. The population in this area is so dense and huge that I wouldn't be surprised if we need two hospitals at the end of the day. You know? So a lot of these halls are... Ooh, the Globe Theater. I can fit it. Or should I reserve this to the High Garden District? I'll reserve it to the High Garden District, I think. That's a little too much. Governor's Office, Colonial Hall. We could do a Colonial Hall. Maybe this was like the old town hall. Or does the Governor's Office line up better? The Governor's Office lines up a little bit better. I feel like this should be in the High Garden District in a way, but maybe not. We'll do the Governor's Hall down here. I think that would be pretty cool. That's a cool capstone building. All right, there's a lot for this thing to build through. So let's go ahead and hop into not a time lapse because there is no time lapse. Here, let's just get this thing done. Okay, here we are. This is the lower eastern district kind of thrown together here and all the buildings constructed. It's looking pretty good. I like the new kind of structures that we're doing. We have the governor's manor here. We got a couple actual motifs and sculptures being used finally to go along with the walls. These new buildings, these like colonial ones, are starting to kind of pop in now and really kind of tie in the area. Let's I need to actually connect the road. That might be useful here because they like to kind of come this way underneath the grammar school. Over to this as a side street, which is totally fine. I'm going to encourage that. I'm just going to give them a proper path to run on, though. We got apparently not one building constructed. I didn't notice that, but this will pop in. It's just a family townhome. I think it's one of no, that's an artisan house. I don't know. That'll pop in, I guess, maybe as we're talking. But I like this kind of old square, right? We got some bushes. Trees, flowers, really filling up the space to make this feel like it was kind of for looks, you know. It's kind of an old residential area, and it kind of fits, right? And then you go up the main street here, and you get the old church. Now, this is the old church in quotation marks because there's going to be a big cathedral over in the High Garden District, but this thing is servicing a lot of the town itself right now, and it has really lovely stained glass windows, very beautiful, if not a little repetitive in my opinion. Like, you know, all these are a little too much of the same. Usually each stained glass window is going to tell its own story, but for what it is, honestly, it's a great model and really kind of capstones this kind of two main roads going along here, you know. Plenty of riverside homes going in, some trees for little details and gap fills, of course. Gotta hide up the little ugly bits with that. We got a little covered wagon area, so that turns out nice. And we're slowly working our way up the main street here. And this trader post is actually working now, which is cool. So we're going to try and get some goods in here so we can purchase some things right here at the edge of town. More standard kind of homes, row homes. I might do a little bit more of the colonial style, to be honest, because it's just a little bit cooler looking than these. So I don't know if I might end up tearing these out and replacing them. We could. We just could. I don't know. Maybe I'll save a little bit more of the colonial stuff towards Highgarden. You know, maybe all of Highgarden is going to be a little bit more like this and a little less kind of like this, right? I think that'll make sense. We also even have some clothes being dried and stuff across the street because, you know, got to make the place look like it's lived in. I'm going to be moving some buildings up here. I didn't like the way, after these are built, you know, you kind of never really know fully until everything's laid out how it's going to look. And you know, I just didn't like these two side by side like this. They kind of blend in together and don't look too great. This is fine because this makes it looks kind of like a full market along the street here. So I'm okay with this. But we'll have to see. We'll get this side kind of finished up over the next episode. So we're going to go ahead and leave this one here. I think it's all coming together nicely. Look at this big zoomed out picture. In fact, I want to show you guys the map before the end of the episode. Let me show you how much we have filled in. Look at this. Look at how dense this is, you know. We're covering up where the old river used to show through. A lot of the edge of the town is kind of being covered up too. So like this whole area is technically land now, but that's going to be all buildings. So that'll cover up that portion of the lake once we get to the Highgarden area. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. This is the biggest single city that I have ever made in Banished, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. With that, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, feel free to subscribe for more creative goodness such as this. Hit that like button, leave a comment on ideas and suggestions. I love to hear them, and we'll see you all in the next video.